This segment of Delmarva Life is brought to you by Peninsula Regional Medical Center.
Ladies, so many of us go through it every single month when just the slightest thing can set you off, or maybe all it takes is a commercial to have you sobbing on the couch. And oh yeah, you just can't get enough chocolate. You know the feeling, it's PMS. And according to the National Institute of Health, 3 out of 4 women go through PMS at some point in their lives. Well, there are certain drugs marketed specifically to help women with PMS symptoms, but sometimes it just seems like nothing works. Here are 3 things you can try that may help.
Fatigue, bloating, and mood swings. Just a few things women deal with during PMS.
I overeat sometimes, like with chocolates and stuff like that for comfort. I take a lot of different pain medications.
First, load up on dairy. In a Columbia University study, women getting 600 milligrams of calcium, about a glass of milk plus a cup of yogurt twice a day, had less premenstrual fatigue and cravings. To put an end to bloating, take a dip in the pool. The pressure of water moves the extra fluid that causes swelling back into your bloodstream. A 20-minute swim or soak in the tub will do the job. Finally, start eating more saffron. A British study found taking just 15 milligrams of the spice twice daily lowered irritability, depression, and fatigue in women.
And something that can make PMS worse, foods that are high in salt. The body naturally stores sodium right before menstruation, so if an egg is fertilized, there are enough fluids and electrolytes for the growing baby. Avoid processed foods with tons of sodium a few days before your PMS symptoms typically start. Now, the thing about PMS is some women get it, some women don't. For some women it's mild, but for others it's so severe PMS can actually prevent a woman from functioning normally. And joining us today to help us better understand all of this is Pam Fleckenstein, the Women's Wellness and Gynecology Director at Peninsula Regional Medical Center. Thanks for joining us this afternoon.
My pleasure.
All right, well, let's just start off with, what is PMS?
PMS is a conglomerate of symptoms. I think the symptoms have already been mentioned, things like bloating, breast tenderness, emotional instability, and even things like clumsiness, dropping objects, sometimes memory impairment, even with PMS.
Right. And why do some women have it worse than others, do you think?
We're not sure exactly, but there does seem to be a hereditary link. If your mom had bad PMS, then possibly you would be more susceptible to it. There is also either a personal or a family history of depression. There's lifestyle in general that can either worsen or help PMS symptoms.
Now, is it true that PMS gets worse with age?
Most people tell me that. You know, I hear that repeatedly, that as they've gotten older, the PMS symptoms are worse, premenopausally.
Really? So is there a certain age that, like, maybe, you know, 20s to 40s, or?
Probably late 20s to late 40s is the most predictable time for women with PMS symptoms, women that are not using hormonal birth control.
Right, and have at least one child and a family history of major depression. That's pretty interesting. We mentioned a few things that may be able to help with symptoms, such as staying away from salt. Can lifestyle changes really make that much of a difference?
It does. You need to increase your fluids. That will decrease the bloating and the full feeling that you have. The fluids, you think, well, increasing fluids is going to make me bloat more. It doesn't. It kind of flushes the system and you feel better. We also tell patients, don't eat things that are boxed, bagged, or packaged.
Right.
You know, shop the periphery of your grocery store during those PMS cravings. Avoid the candy aisle and the potato chip aisle, which we're very tempted. They call to us during that period.
They sure do. What about exercise?
Exercise is excellent. It releases endorphins that counteract some of the hormonal changes that are going on during this time.
Is there a point where you get it so severely that you have to see a doctor? Maybe perhaps is there a medication that you could take?
There is a medication that is given called Seraphim that's given, it starts 10 days prior to your period and you take it through the period. And this seems to help. But there is a distinction between PMS and PMDD, which is the more severe form of PMS. PMDD is even legally defensible. I think someone in New England killed their husband and got off.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because of PMDD causing such psychological issues. Now, PMS can be very severe, and it can affect day-to-day functioning. You know, many women miss work,
Right.
girls miss school because of the severity of the symptoms. Does not necessarily mean this is PMDD. PMDD probably refers more to the severe psychological and emotional instability.
And the DD stands for?
It's premenstrual dystrophy
Oh, okay.
disorder.
Okay, all right.
Is what it is. So.
All right. Well, tomorrow, thank you so much for this information.
Sure.
And of course, you're going to come back and visit us tomorrow because we're going to talk about something very important, and that is ovarian cancer. It's called the silent killer. So
Exactly.
looking forward to hearing more on that, Pam. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
My
And
pleasure.
if you would like more information from PRMC on what Pam discussed today, go to delmarvalife.com and click on the show tab. Well, still to come on Delmarva Life, so many of our teenagers are impacted by bullying every single day. We're going to learn how we can help put a stop to it. It's as simple as taking part in a family-friendly event this weekend in Seaford. And later, the new comedy, We Are Men, kicks off tonight right here on WBOC. We'll hear from the cast on why they think the show is going to be such a hit. But first, moments ago, Pam talked about the importance of exercise. Dr. Oz is going to help us get started.
When it comes to getting and staying healthy, there's absolutely no excuse. You gotta move. Your body's like a finely tuned instrument. And like a great virtuoso, you have to use it or you'll lose it. Here's a little cheat sheet to get you started. Walking. You need to do it for at least 30 minutes every day, 7 days a week. Yep, that's right, every single day. Now, you don't have to do it all in one spurt. You can break it up if you have to. Next, some kind of weight training or resistance work for 30 minutes every week. Yeah, just 30 minutes a week. Break it into 3 10-minute workouts if you want. Then you need 60 minutes of stamina training, like biking or swimming. Break it into 20-minute chunks if you want. And then finish it off with 30 minutes of stretching or yoga. That's just 5 minutes a day, and you can even take 1 day off. Come on, you can do this.